Done this? Tim trying to convince me that I did this, but I don't recall this. But anyway, we're doing it anyway. So, welcome to the camp media session, I guess. The end of camp media session. So,
I'll start it, and it just is that T. Higgins deal. It's a little disappointing when somebody takes advantage of a student athlete to try their own game.
it's the world we live in. It is what it is. I mean, you know. So I think everything's an opportunity to learn. It's one of the best kids that you ever have and be around, and you know, it just kind of comes with the territory. So you learn from it, but obviously there's a lot of what do you call it? Fish bait, or clickbait. Is that what they call it? Clickbait. To try to get some story, but that's just the world that you live in. So you know, you got to be smart and you know, and hope that you just can avoid those type of situations that create false perceptions. But as long as you do what's right, you ain't got to worry about it. So.
I believe the new redshirt rule was passed today. Your thoughts on that?
You know, I just heard about that 5 minutes ago. Thad sent me a text. I've been at the Rock taking pictures, so I literally looked at my phone and it was a clip from Thad. So really haven't even had a chance to gather my thoughts, other than I already had them collected back in January, I think, when we first talked about it as coaches at the convention. That's awesome. I mean, are you kidding me? The fact that you have a chance to, you know, maybe play a kid that you're wanting to, that you do know you want a red shirt, but maybe it's a home game or something, and you get an opportunity to get them a little bit of experience. Or maybe you got a guy that's just not ready, but all of a sudden you have a couple injuries, and by the end of the year, maybe you've got 3 games left, you know, and a guy can play and finish it out, but yet not lose a whole year of eligibility. Or maybe something in the bowl situation, you know, where maybe you've gotten injuries or whatever, you're down on your depth, and here's a kid that maybe hasn't played all year, but he can help you in the bowl game. So I think it's great. I think it's great for the health of the student athletes, and just you know, all those other reasons we talked about.
Also, a rule that players don't have to. You can't limit where they can transfer to now. That they don't have to ask permission.
Yeah, I think everybody knew that was coming, and I think that there's still some order. You know, guys still have to sit a year, but you know, go wherever they want to go. That's kind of what was coming down the pipeline. So I guess that passed today too? Was that part of that? Yeah, I literally have not seen anything. So that's not surprising.
Have you talked to Hunter Johnson at all since he made his?
I have. Yep, talked to him the other day. Talked to him and Coach Fitz. I'm really glad it worked out that way. I think you know, he told me early on that was probably what he was going to do, and I reached out to Fitz. I mean, I got a lot of respect for him. He's a friend, and you know, just it was a tough decision for Hunter. I'm not surprised that we have a quarterback who's decided to transfer. I was just surprised at the time. I really felt like if anything happened, it would probably be after the season. But you know, I mean, it's just what he felt like was best for him and what he needed to do. And, but he's an unbelievable talent and player, and going to be a pro. I mean, he'll be a kid that's going to play this game a long time, and just a guy that I'll be connected to forever. We'll be friends forever. I mean, he's one of the best. Truly one of the best players and one of the best young people that I've ever been around. And so we're going to miss him, but wish him well. And I know he's in a good place, that I think he can achieve his objectives and goals. And we'll pull for him all the way through, and can't wait to watch him be successful.
How do you assess your quarterback depth now and the amount of reps that the top 2 guys are going to get, having lost a couple?
Well, we still got good depth. You know, we now we got 3 that I think we can win with. We had 4 that I felt like we could win with. Now we got 3. So, and then you know, we're gonna put Ben at quarterback now, because he was going to play safety, but obviously we're don't have the depth that we need. So he'll hopefully he's a really good 5A offensive player of the year in this state, good player. And it'd be hard to go find a guy better than him at this point. So we're going to try to build a little depth with him. But those other 3 guys, we can win with all those guys, and so I think we're in a good spot. There's a lot of people out there that don't have one good one. We've got 3 good ones, and we'll let them battle it out and see who's going to lead the Tigers, and I think it'll work out.
Are you excited
great.
to get the rest of your team on campus here in the next week or so?
Yeah, it's been really cool because most of these guys have been here. A lot of them have had a chance to work camp with us, our signees, which is a new rule as well. So that's been pretty cool, just being able to hang out with them a little bit and be around them and watch them coach and teach. So I've had a chance to see them, most all of them, but they'll all be moving here, I guess, a week from Sunday. And so it's exciting to get them all here and get them plugged in and get them going. As y'all know, pretty much the whole team's here, has been here all summer. So I guess we got eight signees that'll be joining this group, and then a few walk-on guys that we're excited about as well coming in and kind of completing the team.
Dabo, what has been the behind this program has achieved a level of excellence that's now maintaining year in and year out? Can you put your thumb on what exactly is behind that?
Yeah, it's been very intentional and purposeful, and just a lot of great people, great players that have bought into who we are, what we do, and how we do it. Really believe in that. Great coaches, great staff, great chemistry. We're all on the same page, and just, we've really focused on the culture of our program. I mean, we're this last 8 years, second winningest program in college football, but also over those last 8 years, 7 out of those 8 years we've been top 10 academically. I think that just speaks to the type of people involved in our program and the culture that drives everything here. And that's a simple answer to a question, but that's ultimately what it comes down to, is just accountability, leadership, who's coming in the door, type of development that we have here, and just the philosophy of our program.
When I asked Terry Don why he hired you so many years ago, he said
I was cheap. Real cheap.
He said that it was your relatability to players from across the board, players of all positions he would see in your office chatting with you. Now that you're a head coach, have you been able to maintain that relatability, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I don't coach the team any different than I coach my position. I really don't. I just had a segment of about 15 guys for years and years and years, and now I have a segment of 120. And I don't coach the team any different than I ran my room and how I dealt with my players. So it's just more opportunity for me, so I always focused on the relationships in my room, the culture of my room, the accountability of my room, who they were as people, academics, you name it. And I just do those same things with the team now, and with the staff, same thing. Coach the staff the same way. We'll do anything any different, but absolutely, I have great relationships with these players, and that's the best part of my job, is just the interaction with these guys. And I love it. Love what I do, and I'm passionate about helping them, be successful, and just figuring life out, and helping them be prepared for what comes after Clemson.
Sliding Joseph back to Mike in the post, spring depth chart. What was kind of the reasoning behind that?
Just where we were depth chart wise, and what Brent felt like gave us the best chance day one, where he felt like we needed to be based on guys, what they had earned, and but he can play either one. I mean, he has no problem playing either position. We got several guys like that can slide in or out, but he's just kind of the quarterback of the group right now, and just wanted to start that way. And again, knowing that we've got a lot of flexibility with those. There's about 5 or 6 guys at that linebacker position that we think are very functional and can play and we can win with, and give us some diversity as far as how we move them around. But just kind of help with the whole picture of how he wanted to position those guys for the reps that we needed to get and what he wanted to get accomplished in the spring.
Coach, sorry if you've been asked this already, but the new NCAA rule out today that players can transfer without really permission from their original school. What's your reaction to that, and what kind of impact do you think that's going to have on college football?
I don't think it's going to have much of an impact. I mean, I mean, there was in the past there were few restrictions. You know, I mean, you might have 10 schools or something like that that you would try to. Our schools on your schedule for that year. That was kind of the standard process, but that's really the only change. I mean, you know, they don't have to come and ask you; they just go. But usually they don't ask anyway. They already know where they're going before they get to that point. But I don't have a problem with it at all. I mean, that's what it is. I just focus on the ones here.
What about the kickoff rule that was passed about a month ago? Do you think that will have a significant impact on
you know, I don't think it's going. I don't know that it's really going to accomplish the objective because I think from a kickoff standpoint, you got to cover it. You don't know if they're going to. You have no idea. I mean, you don't know if they're going to return it, or fair catch it, or whatever. So you got to cover the kick as if it's coming out every single time. You know, so those blocks and things are still taking place. But I think it's from a kickoff standpoint, doesn't change anything. You just have to assume the ball's coming out, whether it's in the end zone or they catch it on the 10. You better cover it like it's a live ball coming. It's probably going to change some things from a kickoff return standpoint. And it's probably going to be game to game, kick to kick, situation involved that you're involved in the flow of a game. I mean, that's probably a case by case basis. I don't know that you'll just say, hey, this is what we're doing every time. I think it depends on who you're playing, and again, what's the situation of the game. And you may tell them, hey, we're bringing it back every time, no matter what. Or maybe it's a different situation in the game, and you go, you know what, we're going to fair catch this ball, take it on the 25, and let's go from there. So it just gives you more options and a little different strategy that you could apply. So I think it's good. I think it's a good change. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out.
About the rule limiting personnel headsets, I guess 20.
Oh, I think that's silly. That's one of the really more silly rules that have come out in the past several years. Really, to be honest with you, I don't really understand that one. But
thoughts on the Josh Belt process? Thoughts on the Josh Belt process? How it ended up?
No comments new other than what I said. You know, great kid, good family. Situations and circumstances changed for him. It's what he felt like he needed to do, and wish him well.
Yeah, but when you look at the popularity of 7-on-7 football, how much stock do you put into that from an evaluation standpoint? Like when you're looking at recruits? 7-on-7
football? Depends on if they're a wide out or a quarterback. I think you can take a little bit away from that. I mean, you can see ball skills and things like that, but at the end of the day, it's a contact sport, and so you're not going to last very long if you're making all your evaluations based on 7-on-7 tape or combines and all that stuff. You better see who can play between the lines. That's why the Adam Humphreys of the world are playing in the NFL. Because they get overlooked by the combine stuff and all that mess, recruiting rankings, and at the end of the day, you got to be a football player. So I look way more into that. What type of player are they? Sometimes people have a lot of measurables, but they're not very good football players. Some people don't have great measurables, but they're very good football players. So I think, the combine, the 7-on-7 stuff, you can, like I said, you can see guys. We do 7-on-7 every day. Skelly, it's a great way to teach your scheme, to see who can process things. It's a challenge for the quarterback because it's unrealistic. It's a challenge for the DBs because it's unrealistic because there's no pass rush and there's no running game. There's no play action. But there's still a lot of things that you can evaluate that's very helpful. When we see them here on our practice field and so forth, just getting a lot of reps, concepts, what the quarterback's eyes are supposed to be on, accuracy, same thing with the secondary and how you evaluate those guys. So that all's good, but you know, at the end of the day, it's one thing to catch that ball over the middle when a guy's out there, you know, with a T-shirt on. It's another thing when he's got some pads on. It's a different mindset. So you have to evaluate. If you're not using football tape to evaluate, you're probably going to make a lot of mistakes.
Coach, I think Ben Batson wound up with a scholarship when Hunter Johnson transferred. Was that the one positive thing that came out of that situation?
Hey, I mean, something good comes out of everything, and that was definitely great for him. It was really good for him. But you know, that's just part of it. You know, and we'll have a few other guys, hopefully, once we get through camp, that we'll be able to, you know, hopefully award a scholarship to for the season. And you know, as we keep getting ready for this season, and then getting ready for our 2019 class.
Ben's a really athletic guy. What does he bring to the table, especially from the quarterback standpoint?
Ben is a great player. Ben, you know, just obviously, you know, going over to Dorman this year was a different experience for him, and you know, he's a 5A Offensive Player of the Year, and took him to the state championship, and he's athletic, strong, good size. He throws the ball well. I mean, he can really run. I mean, he's really, really fast. So I've watched him his whole life, obviously, but you know, he went over and proved what he was capable of doing this year, and so we're lucky that we had a guy like that. That's, you know, that's what he's played. And again, our plan was to put him at safety. We feel like we've got a Division I player in Ben, and he had some offers, and like I said, with another season or so like he had this year, he probably had some big offers because he's got all those measurables that people like. So this year he just was able to have some really incredible production, and so we're fortunate to get him, and that he was just happened to be here because it's a position of need. So, you know, and now I don't know if he'll end up there his career, but we got to have him there for this season for sure.
Okay, I got a